Now, let's talk about one of the most trendy subjects that's followed us in the 2022. COVID. The pandemic was definitely an event that most of us were not expecting, and we were hoping it would be long gone. We started in late 2019 hearing about a new virus that began to spread across the world. As we experienced and approached 2020, we were still oblivious to the disease because it was time for spring break and we were ready for vacation. Then, little did we know that the big Q, quarantine, would come right after and our lives would be changed forever. Then we went through the 2020-2021 school year in person, and some chose distance learning. And then we got into the 2021-2022 school year, and we're told that virtual is no longer an option, meaning we have to come back to school. So now we are in 2022 and we're facing a new challenge, that being an uprise in new variants, new rise in numbers, and we are seeing a lot of our teachers, our administrators, our students becoming infected with this disease. So today I want to talk about everything about COVID and allow you to hear some different perspectives on the subject matter. My first guest for today is Mr. Omega Forbes II. He is a 13-year-old 8th grader who attends Raw Middle School. At his school, he currently serves as the SGA president and also works diligently to maintain the honor roll. Outside of school, he is a member of Distinguished Young Gentlemen, other known as DYG, where he is being taught to embrace brotherhood. He also enjoys singing and is expanding into media. He is a smart young gentleman who is doing some incredible things in our community. Please welcome Zoe to the show. Hello, Omega. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
So glad to have you on. Now, my second and last guest is Miss Sasha Williams, a third-year public relations student at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, otherwise known as FAMU, and she's from Orlando, Florida. She is the social media manager for the FAMU chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists, the vice president of the FAMU chapter of the Public Relations Student Association of America, and the event coordinator for FAMU's award-winning magazine called The Journey. Please welcome Miss Sasha to the show.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for that introduction.
Hello, I'm so happy to have you on with me, and I believe this is going to be a great discussion. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about COVID. Now, we all have been dealing with different things, with not knowing what's going to happen. We entered school. Some of us chose to wear a mask. Some of us got vaccinated. Some of us are here, and we're still trying to figure out what's going on because there's so much. So I just want to ask you all, what are your thoughts and concerns about COVID-19 right now?
I mean, it's tough, especially for students, because I know last year it was really difficult for a lot of my peers to just like get acclimated to doing school online rather than in person. So it's been like definitely a struggle. I think it's getting better now, but it was definitely hard at first.
Right. I know it was definitely hard for me as well.
Yeah. I believe I was in my freshman year of college here at FAMU before the pandemic started, and then my second semester, it got cut short. So this pandemic definitely was just, it's not it. Like, it sucks that it's happening, that we're still in this terrible situation right now. But just the fact of school, like I really do miss what school used to be before the pandemic, but it has made stuff really difficult even for like in-person activities. Like I love to be in the classroom. I love to be around people. So that's part is probably like the worst part for me, just not being able to have the person-to-person contact that's needed.
And I definitely understand because I mean, I'm a social person as well. I enjoy being able to connect with people. And so I think when it first started, I was actually in 10th grade as well. And so I just I started in ninth. We were getting ready for spring break. They tell us spring break's going to be extended. So everybody's excited because you get that extra week off. And then you hear, we're not going back. It's going to be brick and mortar for a while. And so all of my 10th grade year, I was a distance learner. Now, I love independently learning. I'm not a huge group project person, so I enjoyed being home. But I do know, even as Omega said, that there are a lot of people who struggled. There were people who benefited from it. And there were so many different positive and negative effects just from being in the pandemic and having to deal with COVID. I'm wondering, did it cause any physical, mental, or emotional changes for you all?
Mentally, like I already said, it was very challenging at first because like just being online, like getting used to that whole like kind of new environment. That was like very stressful for me and a lot of my friends. But now now that I'm like back in school, it's a lot better.
I would have to agree with him as well. Getting into college, your first year you have so many plans, and then when it gets cut short so quickly, it's like everything you had planned, you have to replan it, you have to rethink it because now you have to be stuck at home. I remember my sophomore year, so I'm stuck in my dorm room every day and can't be out, can't see anybody. So definitely it affected my mental health, just making sure that I'm okay. And I remember I had to go back home a lot of times because I am from Orlando. So I have to come back and go home and come back again just to make sure that I was good because just feeling like I can't do anything.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, they felt that isolation. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
big word COVID has brought everybody. They made you feel
Mm.
isolated from your friends, your family, from your peers, because I mean, at the time, there was a lot going on. I mean, you had so many people getting it. There were so many people who just were fine one day, and the next day they were infected. They had a lot of things going on. And now we're here where we have heard of different things that could help ease this pandemic. You've heard the vaccine, you've even heard boosters. And so there's new variants coming, there's different things popping up and on the rise. And so I know mentally, even for me, I am pushing through and I'm doing everything that I can to ensure my safety. But I also know that when I've talked to other people, it has been a little scary for them because they're wondering, well, what happens if we get quarantined again? What is that going to mean for us? What are we going to do? Are we going to have to do our upcoming years in high school virtual? Are we going to? It's so many questions going on and so much confusion. And so I definitely agree with you both that mentally it has been really hard. Has it caused any concerns for you during school? Like, have you had any problems getting your work done, or have you had to really be that person to reach out to your teachers? Let's talk about that.
Um, Me personally, my grades were still good, but it was like a lot more that I had to do because with my laptop, it kept like kicking me out. So I had to like keep emailing my teachers, and it was just like a very long process. That's probably the most emails I sent to my teachers like that year alone.
Yeah. Wow, that was a good point. Like making sure you have contact with your teachers are very important. And usually through email, there's certain teachers that don't answer emails that really just don't want to. So you do have professors and teachers that are like that. But hardest part in school, I mean, grades and nothing. I feel like COVID made school easier just because you are at home. But other than that, I don't really think it made anything harder. For me, it was just basically because I'm a PR student, just making sure you have the contact with people, making sure that you're getting the experience you need for your future career, even like with jobs and everything. But I feel like COVID definitely helped me out with social media wise because I'm stuck at home all the time. So now I can do social media.
And I like that you mentioned social media because even with what you both said, I do agree that, I mean, personally, I didn't really have much troubles my grades. I actually was able to improve mine and really meet some academic goals for myself. But there were a lot of students who either didn't try because it was new for them. And a lot of people don't like change. They don't like to go through changes and have to deal with a new option or a new way of learning something. And then you had those who were just genuinely confused and they needed help from their teachers. But there were a lot going on, even what Omega said with the computer going out. I've had times where our teacher would be teaching the class and then out of nowhere, she just stopped. She forgot all about the virtual students. And so we're just like, what's going on? We're trying to learn. And it was aggravating at times. So having that aspect, it was stressful. And like Sasha mentioned, there's a lot of that's been going on with social media in the pandemic. I mean, we had to use our computers. I think I'm personally tired of the word Zoom. I'm really tired of having to log on and do things like that because it was so much that year. And having to be social. You're on Instagram, you may be on Facebook, and you're seeing your friends. Everybody's posting on TikTok relatable things like imagine you're at home and you're doing this, or you see so much going on social media. I think we can all agree that it plays a big part in our lives. And even with COVID, were there anything on social media that caused you to be apprehensive about the pandemic? Were there some benefits that you've seen with social media that helped you personally?
I mean, it definitely helped me stay in touch with my friends because, like, I wasn't expecting for us to be at home for so long. Like you said, like we was just, oh, it's gonna be spring break. Spring break's gonna be extended, and then like it just never happened. So it definitely caused me to be closer with my friends. But like the downside of social media, there was a lot of lies being spread about the virus. They were saying like, um, African Americans can't get it. It was like very confusing for a while.
Yeah, it social media definitely plays a big part on like spreading lies and spreading the truth. The social media was annoying in the pandemic for me. It's very annoying, and when you're stuck in something and it's like you can't get out, and every time you get on social media, that's all you see, that's all you hear about. Even how Instagram and Facebook, every time you get on, there's still like a notice like check out these details about the new COVID update, and it's tiring. But social media helped me by getting my first social media manager experience for a nonprofit I did. So it was a resume builder. So I do have it was pretty good, but it's just still annoying being in a pandemic.
Yeah, annoying is definitely the word because, as you both said, social media, their downfalls. I promise, I probably saw so many people. Either you see something happy, like, oh, I've been home, I was able to clean my room. You have everybody on TikTok who's like, a day in my life. You get to see the things I'm doing. And then you have the other people who are constantly reporting this many people died from COVID or this many people got infected. And even as Omega said, there were so many lies. There's so many things that people spread in less than 5 seconds over anything. And so seeing that and just watching how much it's played into our lives, you saw so many people, they got worried about their loved ones because they were seeing all the numbers. They were scared about the virus. They're overwhelmed, like you said, Sasha, about the constant coverage on COVID-19 in social media. Because honestly, I think some of them do that on purpose just to be able to get it in our brains and keep us thinking. But even as people are now, we're seeing people resume back to normal. It's their sense of normal because I mean, we'll never really go back to what we used to. I mean, we're still going to have to deal with this pandemic and with many variants. There's different things. Our normal is new. I know people use that phrase and coin that phrase. It's our new normal and it's our thing that we have to go through. And so you're seeing people going out taking trips now, and you're seeing them get back into the real world, even though there's still so much going on. How do you all feel about that? Are you feeling like you think it's time for people to get back to normal, or you think that we need to maybe try and slow down, maybe try to focus on ways to make the pandemic better?
I think a lot should definitely be slowed down because, I mean, a lot of people got comfortable like a couple of months ago and then the new variant came. I feel like if we keep going down this path with everybody being scared and then going back to normal, it's just not going to end. Like, it's just going to be like a continuing cycle.
I'm really two-sided on this just because like the pandemic really affected a lot of people mental health and even like the death rate. Like it's been like so sad and so depressing. So at the beginning, everybody needs to stay inside. And sometimes now like I'm a college student, so you have some weekends where everybody's out at one time and you have weeks where everybody's inside. I feel like it's a two-sided thing, like making sure you're taking care of yourself and watching out for other people around you. But I do say everything just needs to have a balance. Instead of like being out and not in, just balance it better.
I definitely agree because I think both of what you all hearing from what you say, the main thing I get from that is that people just need to be smart. Because I mean, honestly, there's some people right now who are just taking those risks and they're going places without taking the necessary precautions to ensure their own safety. And so that's the main cause of why so much is spreading and things are going on because people are not being careful enough to care about themselves, let alone other people. And then also, I do agree. I mean, you have those times. Everybody's been isolated for so long. I mean, we're all tired. I know everybody got cabin fever, especially if you had siblings. You're looking at them like, I'm tired of seeing your face, or the people around you. Like, I'm tired of seeing y'all. I need a break. I need to get out. And we're about to be in spring break. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm probably not going anywhere that far, but just to be able to have a break for those people to really relax. I agree with what Omega was saying that some things do need to change. I mean, people at the end of the day, they need to be smart. They need to be aware of what they're doing and who they're going around, especially even if you may feel like, well, I don't think it's going to happen to me. Or there's so many people who are like, I don't think I'm going to get COVID. And then it happens. And then it's like, oh, I didn't think this would happen. But I mean, I just think personally, if you just take those precautions for yourself and you do the necessary things for you and your household, then I feel like we could get somewhere. Because I mean, like you said, it's a continuous cycle of people going on and they're just feeling whatever. But even with that constant cycle of new variants and constant cycles of people getting whatever, I'm wondering, do you all have any suggestions, even from a middle school perspective, a college perspective, of what you think your deans or your administrators can do to help better navigate us through school? Because, like I said earlier, we don't know what may happen. If things keep going on a track, there's so many questions, like I said, of people saying, what will happen? So, what advice would you give to your administrator on what they can do to better help navigate our schools through the pandemic?
I think teachers, well, some teachers can be a lot more understanding, like mentally and just like trying to deal with technology because I know a lot of teachers that are like irritated even when somebody needs to charge a Chromebook. But like some people, even though we've been at this for so long, like some people are still trying to get adjusted. I feel like there should be a lot. I mean, there should be a lot more understanding about that.
Definitely.
The only thing I would say, I know you have a choice now whether you want to have an online class or in person, but for FAMU's campus, I would only say just making sure that people are still wearing their mask. I know all of my teachers, they provide extra masks. Like if you forgot one, here you go, just to make sure everybody's comfortable in class because you do have to put safety first, and your mask is important because you've been wearing around so many other people and you come to class. Yeah, so mask, number one thing I would say.
Yeah, and I definitely agree because I know there's so many people who have their opinions. Yes, some people say yes, they should, yes, they don't. But like you're all are saying, they do have to, one, like you said, Omega, be understanding. That's the most thing. Because I mean, everything changes nowadays. We go from one day they're saying we're looking like we're on a good track, and then the next day the numbers are going right back up and we're looking like we're going downhill. And so I do agree, being understanding, making sure that as a teacher, if you have those students who are falling behind, or if you see them not reaching out as much, maybe try to extend the olive branch. Now, I understand if they're constantly not doing that, then you're not going to want to. But if you see them and they're struggling, or they seem like they're having difficulties, maybe try and reach out. Or even for my school, I would suggest, like, be patient. Make sure that if people are going through certain things, you try to accommodate everyone's comfortability. Because I know even at my school, there's people who do wear or people who don't wear. There's people who have different views on certain things, but they are respectful. They tend to say, if I'm around you, I'll make sure that I'm taking my necessary precautions around you so that I keep you safe and myself safe. I think if more people practice that and respect other people's boundaries, instead of just saying, well, this is how I feel, I'm not going to listen to your perspective, I'm not going to do that, then we're going to keep, like you all kept saying, keep going through this cycle. Okay, we're here, we're there, we're here, we're there. But if people just take the time to respect each other and do things, then it would be better. I wear a mask. I mean, I encourage people to, just because it is safe. I understand if you don't, because again, that is your decision. That is your comfortability. But I do believe that respecting each other and making sure that we're safe is one of the most key details for us to do. And even on the subject of being respectful of each other, I know that I'm in high school, you're in middle school, Omega, and you're a collegiate student, but are you seeming to see that your peers are being respectful towards you? Are they seeming to follow different things to make sure that the good of everybody is going well?
I feel like a lot of people at my school, they don't really understand the gravity of the situation. They're just kind of like most people just think of COVID as a joke at my school. But I try to encourage everybody to wear their mask and get vaccinated. But there's only like so much you can do. But I feel like more people should start wearing their masks so we can get this over with and not have to wear a mask. So yeah.
At my school, man, the only thing I would say, I feel like people care about COVID and the fact that it's happening, but I feel like since it's been going on for so long, like just the safety, like being safe about it, or like still making sure people care about it is the problem with my peers. Like even again, like wearing your mask at school, like we're still at school, there's in-person classes, you're on campus with everybody else, so just wear a mask, or even like with social distancing, like give people space, just simple stuff like that. But I feel like people don't care anymore at this point because it's just been so long.
Yeah, I mean, being an extended period of time, I think a lot of people have become very comfortable. They've come comfortable with, okay, we've been through this for the last 2 years. When is this going to end? So it's like in their brain, I feel like people are tired of what's going on. So instead of trying to make the situation worse, it's kind of like if you're in class and you're doing the same assignments, it's just like, oh my gosh, why do we have to keep doing this? And then it's like that senioritis that kicks in. A lot of people, when they're in junior year of high school or senior year, they're like, when is this going to be over? I've been in high school for 13 years. I'm ready to get my diploma. It's kind of like that. They get slacked behind and they're just kind of like, I'm tired of this. So I feel like you said, if people start to care more, if people take that time to truly look out for other people, even if you are wearing your mask, if you're not wearing your mask, I believe people should have been social distancing before COVID, because I just think everybody should have their own bubble of space and should not be in each other's way. But even simple things like that, if you're not comfortable with the whole mask thing or the vaccine thing, the least you can do is give people space, because that's just something we need to do. I mean, you shouldn't be anywhere around people like that, just having a normal conversation. But overall, like we've said, just to make sure we get this together and to really pull it in, I feel like both of you all had some amazing points. And I definitely believe that we are all in different grades. We're all doing different things. And since we're all leaders in our community and doing things to impact our community, I feel like our voice and our attention, even though, like Omega said, that everybody may not listen. You try to encourage people. There's only so much you can do. But the more we keep encouraging, the more we keep pushing, I truly believe that we're going to do some great things to be able to help this. It's us, our generation right now, who's really starting to feel the effects of the pandemic. And we're the people who are starting to get more infected with COVID. So I think just as peers, as us people together in our generation, we just have to do better. We have to do everything that we can to take control. And if you all have any other last words on the subject matter, I will let you have it, because I do want you to have your say before we wrap up.
I would like to say something. So I know like this has been a lot. This has been a long 2 years, but I feel like you should just stay encouraged, because I know a lot of people, there's like, oh, when is this going to stop? I just think people should be more like kind of hopeful for the future. So just stay encouraged even if this doesn't end.
Yes, I agree with him. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged and just keep yourself safe so you can keep everybody else safe, and we all can get through this and be over with it. I'm tired of it. I know y'all are tired of it. Everybody's tired of it, but we have to remain safe because we can possibly go into another one. And we want to get this over with where everybody's tired of it. So definitely keep yourself safe. Keep the person next to you safe and your family safe, so we all can be safe together.
Yep. Well, there you have it, everyone. I'm telling you, this amazing young male and this amazing young woman are just some truly inspirational people in our community. I want them to have the chance to go ahead and shout out their platform so you can keep up with them, because I'm telling you, they're destined for greatness and they're going to be some of the best leaders of tomorrow. So you all go ahead and let them know where you're at and how they can reach you.
Again, my name is Omega Forbes II, and you can follow me on Instagram at I am Omega Forbes.
Awesome. Y'all check them out.
All right, everyone. Again, I am Sasha Williams. You can find me on Instagram at _IMSASHH, or on Facebook at Sasha Williams, or on LinkedIn at Sasha Williams FAMU.
We love it. Well, I thank you all so much for being a part of today's broadcast, because we are going to do some amazing things. I am thankful for every single person who continuously keeps up with the radio show. I know that this has been new and this is something that popped up on Hallelujah 95.3, but I do want you all to keep up. So if you've been listening, go ahead and reach out to me. You can connect with me, #connect with Kaylin, connect spelled with a K, on YouTube at KCK Inspiring Moments with Kaylin. That is my YouTube channel, and I ask you turn on your post notifications. You also can follow me on Instagram at Kaylin Cares 15. You can follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn at Kaylin's Caring Connection. And you can also check me out on my website, which is www.kaylinscaringconnection.com. Again, Kaylin is spelled Kaylin, connection with the K. I thank every single person who has been here with me. I ask that you continue to push forward. You continue to be encouraged, because if we are together and we stick together, we can do some powerful things in our community. I love you all, and stay safe, and I will see you on for another episode. Bye-bye.